Do you meditate? Or let me put it another way. Have you tried to meditate? If you're anything like me, meditation is definitely on your to-do list. I mean, we all know, we've all heard how good meditation is for us, but do you do it? Or if you do it, like, what's it like? So I've got a confession to make. This is definitely a confession time, confession video. And my confession is basically about my experience of meditation. It may not be what you think, so I'm going to let you in on that. But I'm also interested to know what your experience of meditation is, why you think it's good or not good, why you do it or don't do it, any of that, all of the above. So, hi, I am Kylie Ansett, the Alignment Whisperer, and I help you get into alignment with your inner wisdom. We've all got that inner wisdom, that inner knowledge, inner power, so that you can live a life of purpose. That's kind of what motivates me, what I'm passionate about. So I'm coming to you from beautiful Sydney, Australia, with your daily dose of alignment. Okay, so let's talk about this meditation thing. Now, you have probably put meditation on your to-do list. I would imagine if you're in my friends list, if you are one of my friends on Facebook or even in the real world, meditation is on your to-do list. In fact, it might even be something that you've done a few times, or it might be something you do a lot. Now, I'll give you a bit of my background of meditation. So first of all, when I grew up, my mother did a lot of meditating. So it was something very familiar to me, and I wasn't that interested in it. Like most kids, we're not really interested in what our parents do, but it was a thing. And then like where I grew up, there were lots of people that meditated, and the main thing it meant to me is that I had to be quiet. That was what meditation meant to me. I had to be quiet because there were all these people in this room meditating and I wasn't allowed to make any noise. So then there was that. I never really gave it a go. I think, I probably sat down for 3 consecutive minutes in my entire childhood, and that was fine. There was never any expectation or pressure to meditate from my mother. But it didn't really interest me. As I got older, of course, as you do, I kind of realized, wow, this is this thing that all these people are talking about and all these people are doing. There must be something to it. Maybe my mother was right. Anyway, I became more interested in meditation. I started meditating myself, and then, get this, I actually started teaching meditation. I taught meditation for several years. In small groups, around the local area, and even in my home. And only when I was teaching meditation did I actually meditate myself. Now that is a confession. It was the best thing about teaching. It was like an 8-week course that I would teach, and we'd meet once a week. And because I gave all my students homework to meditate, I was like, well, I better meditate too then. So that was kind of like got me meditating every single day. But then when I wasn't teaching the course, which was right, like most of the time, I wasn't meditating. I don't think that's very good, but there you go. Anyway, I have since started meditating on a regular basis, and when I say since, I guess probably for the last maybe 4 months, something like that. Every day, that's it. I do it. When I say I do it, I want to say I try to do it, because I don't know if you can relate to this, but like there's a lot of not meditating involved in meditating. There's a lot of like thinking about what I'm going to do for the rest of the day involved in my meditation. That seems to be what I do a lot of the time while I am sitting, and I've tried all sorts of different things, but I wanted to just share in this space my experience of it, and I guess hear what yours is or has been, and also the reason why I still do it every day, even though I spend most of the time like making lists in my head and thinking about all the other things that I have to be doing. So first of all, I think from my perspective, it's completely normal for that to happen. I think that is definitely a big part of meditation, is that probably for the first time in our day, or for the only time, I should say, for the only time in our day, we're actually observing what is going on in here, which in my case is a whole lot of busyness. And like busy is like that's my Voldemort word. That's a word I don't allow into my lexicon. I'm not allowed to say the word busy. I don't like the energy of the word busy. I never tell people I am busy, because busy makes it sound like there's no choice. And there is always a choice. But what goes on in my head, that's busy. And I guess the point for me, for meditating, is to understand that that's a choice as well. It's such a habit. It's such a habit, the busyness, that it is only in that moment. And I keep it short and sweet. Like 10 minutes is often as long as I'm sitting there. Sometimes 15, sometimes 20, but like 10 minutes is kind of the minimum. Probably 15 is my average. And sometimes I just stop it because I'm like, I'm sick of looking at the busyness. My goal is to quiet that busyness, and it's a very strong pattern in my brain. It's a really, really strong pattern. So if you can relate to this, like, let me know if busyness is something that happens in your head, and if you stop and sit down to meditate, it's almost overwhelming just how busy it is. Well, then you will kind of know what I'm talking about. And it can be very off-putting, because you're like, well, I don't want to sit here and berate myself for having these thoughts going on. And so then the whole experience of meditating actually becomes one of self-recrimination and I'm not doing this right. I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. It's like, let me give you an example. I was massaging a client recently. It was an older gentleman, and I was talking to him about yoga, suggesting that might be something for him to think of. And he said, oh, no, like, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible enough. Now, like, light bulb moment. If, like, to me, that was like, that's why you need to do yoga. The flexible people, they don't need it. It's the inflexible ones. That's the kind of the point of yoga. I mean, there's a lot more to it, of course. But when you're talking to someone on that level, that's the concept. Oh, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible enough. Not understanding that that's kind of how you get flexible. Well, meditation is no different. It's the same thing. I can't meditate because my mind is too busy is the excuse we tell ourselves. Yes, guilty. I have told myself that excuse. Absolutely. Well, if your mind wasn't busy and if you had a quiet, peaceful mind 24/7, you probably wouldn't need to meditate. Like, it would be easy to do, but you wouldn't need it. It's the rest of us. It's the ones of us who are making shopping lists and planning our empire in our brains that need the meditation. Why? I'm going to get to that in a minute. But this is the point. It's the only time in your day where you actually witness what is going on in there, the craziness. No, not the craziness, just the busyness. And that you know that it's a choice. It's a choice. Now that's a very liberating, empowering. Whenever you acknowledge that something that you perhaps didn't realize or didn't think of as a choice, whenever you acknowledge that it is a choice, that is an incredibly empowering position to take. You've just shifted the whole board game. Like, you've made that single chess piece move that's now put you into a position of power. And it's simply by acknowledging, this is a choice. Now you're in the power position. So that is what meditation is all about. It's getting yourself in the power position of realizing this is a choice. Now that does not mean that as soon as you realize it's a choice, like, bang, wave the magic wand and suddenly, you're going to have the clarity and emptiness in your mind that you are striving for those 10 minutes, but it's the first step. The second step is to not beat up on yourself when you realize how busy things are. And like for me, like a 15-minute meditation there might be like 30 seconds where I feel like I'm actually meditating. That's how bad it can be some days. Oh my God. But no, like I shouldn't say that to myself. No, it's not about recrimination. It is about witnessing that. That's kind of the habit. That's the practice of meditation. So there's that. Why do we do it? Like, why? Why would I put myself through this torture? And it's not torture. I'm being facetious. It's not torture, but why would I do it? Why would I put myself through this? Why would I not just get on with my day? Well, just like we do exercise for our body, this is an exercise for our mind. And our mind, this is the light bulb moment for me. You know, we really do pay a lot of attention to our bodies. There's gym memberships out there, and there's people running up and down the roads every day, and there's, you know, drink more water campaigns, and there's eat better food, you know, like advice and all of this kind of thing. This is all a huge part of our looking after our body. But how much looking after our mind campaigns are there? Have you ever seen a look after your mind campaign? Have you ever joined a membership to a look after your mind gym? I don't think so. That's what meditation is. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as understanding that your mind is where it starts and ends as far as everything that actually happens in your life. This is the beauty of it. It is so incredible once you start harnessing the limitless power of your mind. And I'm sure you've heard all of the statistics about like how little of our brains we actually use, and you know what potential is, untapped potential lies there, and all this kind of thing. Well, the point is meditation is the key to get to that. So that's why it's worth doing. So that's why I spend like a whole 15 minutes every day. Like, it's not a big sacrifice, but that is my mind care. Now, what I notice is that absolutely while I'm sitting on the cushion in the moment of meditation, as I said, there's like 14 and a half minutes of non-meditation, and 30 seconds of meditation is quite often the way it goes. But this is the beautiful thing. Where I notice it the most is when I'm doing it regularly. I notice it in the other 23 and 3/4 hours of the day is where I notice it. It allows me to capture little moments of time and bear witness in a way that I previously was unable to do. So I find that the 15 minutes in the morning gives me the space to work on the rest. It's, you know what it is? I feel it's like an alchemy. It's an alchemy of time. When you are meditating regularly, there is this ability to bend time, to stretch time, to find time within a second. So when a situation is unfolding, you have this ability to kind of halt time, to like push the pause button and observe it. And if you're anything like me, where often I need to think about something before I fully commit to it or react to it, it's wonderful because I can pause it, I can think about it, and then I can press play again and off we go. And I've kind of allowed myself that moment. I've stretched the time and allowed myself the moment to work in a way that is intentional. So that is what meditation does. That's the why for meditation. It's not always like the same as body care. Like, it's not always the sweating at the gym. Like, that's not the reason that you do the exercise. You do it for the feeling it gives you for the other 23 hours of the day, right? And it's the same with meditation. It's not the 15 minutes, half an hour sitting on the cushion. It's the other 23 and a half hours of the day that is benefited by it. And the more you do it, supposedly the easier it gets. Yes, it does. But also the more benefit you see in the rest of your life. So that's my encouragement to you. I hope you got some insight from that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I always are interested to hear what you have to say. Let me know. And if you like deep diving into alignment topics more, then make sure you come along and visit us in the Facebook group Align, and I will look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye.